Welcome to the Shellonomics Podcast, your source for pure Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles entertainment, presented by King Mictus.
All right, guys, another episode of Shellonomics here, episode 51. We are with our good friend TMNT Dare Talk Christian. Today we're going to combine two seasons together because we pounded away on those European episodes in season 4. So brace yourself for another go, and we're going to talk about my least favorite episode. And a question for the community out there, we want you to leave a comment down below. Is season 7 the best season of the bunch, not counting season 1? I think so, and we're going to dive into that when we get to season 7. So, Christian, this is where you were thankfully politely corrected me on my woo-wee by doing. You actually did something and didn't do nothing. We're going to start with Rock Around the Block. I'm going to give my take real quick, and I'd like yours just to fill in. I was hyped for this episode when I first saw it. General Trag, voiced by Peter Renaday, is one of my favorite characters in the 1987 universe. It was nice to see him back in control. It was pretty cool to see him fight the Turtles, even though it was kind of hokey, where I think he just like throws them to the side and whatnot. But I really liked the episode with David Wise, who actually wrote this one, but really not a fan of the ending. So take us from start to finish on Rock Around the Block for season 6.
Well, it's the start of season 6, but just like last time we had with the start of season 5, this should have been the finale of the last season, because in this episode, as you said, General Trag comes back and he's got a new weapon, what was it called? The Rockalizer. And with this, he can control stones and rocks, and he creates like stone monsters, and the turtles have to fight him. And yeah, this is the episode where in the end, the turtles actually do nothing. And because of Bebop and Rocksteady's stupidness, the Technodrome gets free from the ice in the Arctic, but thanks to Bebop and Rocksteady, there's this laser, and because of it, the Technodrome in the end sinks down to the bottom of the ocean, and that's where it stays for a while. So yeah, this should have been the finale of last season, because now the Technodrome is in another place. Like, yeah, every season, it's a classic.
Yeah, exactly. Now, do you agree? I agree with the woo-wee principle sometimes. We talked about that in our last podcast episode, but just why did they have to make Bebop and Rocksteady so, I don't know if this is a word to say nowadays in 2025, but dim-witted and just, I guess, incompetent, I guess would be the nicest way to say it. Just, why did they have it like this? Couldn't they have done a better way to have the Technodrome, not, I don't know, just... I have to hold my hand. I need a hug, Christian. I need a hug.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Oh, gosh. But let's dive into another episode here. Being a video gamer myself, actually, Christian, I never asked you, did you ever like the Ninja Turtle games growing up?
Oh, of course. Growing up, I had the classic Game Boy, and one of the very first games I ever got was Fall of the Foot Clan, and I played this game like 100 times. You can beat it in like 25 minutes, and I played it over and over again, and I love it. And yeah, then I had the Sega Genesis with Hyperstone Heist and Tournament Fighters. Okay, all these games, yeah, brings back memories.
Yes, because this is what we're getting into here. Krangenstein Lives. David Wise wrote this one, I believe, for us gamers back in the day. I enjoyed this one. How about yourself?
It was cool. It was pretty unusual, because the Crank's android body went haywire thanks to Bebop and Rocksteady's video game chip, and and in the end, Mikey is also playing a video game, but he's got this little handheld. And in the end, it's actually him who saves the day, because through the video game, he is able to control Crank's android body. Oh yeah, and there was also this B-plot with Shredder getting amnesia, forgetting who he is. But I always thought it was funny. Shredder doesn't remember who he is, but he's still doing bad things. It's like, this feels right to do bad things. And I always thought it was funny. But yeah, the whole thing with Crank's android body going crazy, I always thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one as well. Next one reminded me of, I don't know if the episode's either called April's Fool or April Foolish. Super Irma, there was like a little party, and I don't know if you played this one, Christian, but there was a pretty cool mobile game. I think it was called, I don't know if it was called Mutant Madness or Mutant something. It came out a couple years ago. Around
Mutant Madness, yeah, I remember.
And, yeah, because this character was in there. Let's talk about Super Irma.
Yeah, this is like a Halloween episode actually, because the party they're having is at Halloween. And yeah, in this episode, Irma is dressed up as a superhero, and through some freak accident, she gets superpowers, and now she thinks she's super strong, and she's beating up all these bad guys. But in the end, her powers wear off, and she gets caught by Shredder and Krang, and she gets stuck in the Technodrome, so the turtles have to dive down there and save her. Yeah, it's an Irma focused episode. It's okay, but I thought that Irma was a little bit annoying in this episode with, like, she got a little bit arrogant, like, haha, I'm the strongest here, you turtles, you're weak, I'm the best superhero in town. But yeah, it's a fine episode.
No, you took the words out of my mouth. I felt the same way. I felt that she was a little too cocky for her own good. I'm not sure why they made her like that, because she was always shy and awkward. And, you know, I think if she would have been more like, almost like the My Hero Academia character, you know, like how he was more like just, I guess, childlike innocence, like when he was getting his powers, I think we could have appreciated the episode a little bit more. But yeah, I'm with you. It's still a fun watch. You know, David Wise, again, writes another good one. And, like I say, it's not too bad, but yeah, I agree with you on how she was a little bit too arrogant there. So, dig into the next one. This one reminds me of Back to the Egg, and this episode along with Back to the Egg made me pull the trigger, Christian. I'm finally starting to get into the NECA toy collection. They just re-released the accessory set, and they have the little baby turtles in there. So let's talk about Adventures in Turtle Sitting.
Yeah, I mean, we are now in season 6, and you can really get the feeling that, okay, they're reusing plots here, because we once again get baby turtles or toddler turtles, because all of the turtles except for Michelangelo get turned into little kids thanks to an invention by Donatello that malfunctioned. And yeah, but they still have to work together to stop Krang, because that was a weird plot, because Krang built like an artificial island, and he invited all these gangster bosses, like, who was there? Pinky McFingers, Maddox McMutt, and Big Louie, I think. And he sent them all over there because he wanted to destroy them so that he can be the only big boss in town. Like, okay, that's something that Krang wants. Whatever. And yeah, it was pretty weird, because as you remember, in the end, what was the antidote that turned the turtles back into their teenage selves? It was water. They jumped into the water, and thanks to the salt water, they like turned back into teenagers. Like, okay, I guess we don't have any more time, so hurry up the plot. Okay, it's a weird one.
They love using water. Remember in Convicts from Dimension X, they used water to break the spell of all those the corporate raiders in Dimension X.
Yeah.
Then they had the Fountain of Youth with Leatherhead in the swamp, where they all were feeling like young turtles, and Shredder turned into like almost like baby Shredder. So yeah, a lot of these writers, you're right, they do love the agua out there. All right. This is one of my favorite episodes. I think this was in the top 10 when I did a podcast just ranking my 10 favorites. The Sword of Yurikawa.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty cool one, because there's this whole plot with this sword that's got superpowers that can turn like into everything that you can think of. Like, it can turn into a fire sword, and in one scene it even turns into a chainsaw, because why not? And everyone is after this sword. Shredder is after this. There's this weapon collector who's after it. The turtles have to stop at them. And there's also this mysterious ninja who gets it and like confronts the turtles with it. And, well, spoiler, in the end it turns out that it's Splinter. Yeah, I actually, yeah, this is an episode I really like because, yeah, it's got a. I think the plot is actually pretty cool with all these parties trying to go after the sword and how it turned out. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, this one was fantastic. Yeah, how they try to all steal the sword. They all have different ways. Like Splinter does the right way, like in and out. The new villain voiced by Rob Paulsen goes in, cheats a little bit, and then Shredder, for some reason, makes it so obvious that he's stealing the sword. You can see it's claws, he hits the camera. So this was actually one of the more action-oriented episodes, too, as we go into the late 90s. That's another reason why I appreciated that one. So popping in next, our good friend Kermit returns in Return of the Turtleoid. Like you said earlier, another return of another character because they're running out of plots.
Yeah, Kerma comes back to Earth because he's hunted by well, we say it as it is, like he's getting hunted by the Terminator. This robot that's after him and wants to destroy him because because of a typo, actually, the robot thinks that Kerma is an evil criminal, and so it goes after him. And Kerma goes to Earth so the turtles can help him. And yeah, it's a cool episode. I like it because it's really suspenseful with the robot after him, like this Terminator robot going after Kerma, and the turtles have to find a way to stop it. It's entertaining and it's cool to see Kerma back. I like Kerma.
I like him too. You are probably more into NECA than I am because I'm starting to. Does he have a NECA figure yet? Did he come like as an accessory with somebody?
Kerma had a NECA figure with Mondo Gecko together, if I remember correctly.
Oh, nice. Okay.
There's two back.
Oh, very good. I'm going to have to keep my eyes for that one, and hopefully I don't have to pay an arm and a leg for it because I am slowly getting into NECA, and I can't wait. I'm having a blast with those. This one's another. This is just one of those laughing episodes with Shrika's Revenge. Can you let people know who Shrika is, her backstory, and who ends up helping her?
Yeah, Shrika is this lady, where does she come from? Is she actually from Dimension X? I'm not sure about it, but I know that she worked together with Krang, and I always like it when we get some more backstory for Shredder or for Krang. And she's coming after Krang because Krang stole a powerful ring of hers, and yeah, Krang sends this ring to April, actually. So Shrika goes after April, and because Krang and Shredder think, okay, so then she will destroy the turtles, and so on and so forth. Yeah, actually, pretty cool episode. Shrika is one of this one-off enemies, and she's got this powerful ring that can shoot fire. It's an entertaining episode, and as I said, I always like it when we get some more backstory. Like, yeah, Shrika is a friend of Krang from the past. They're like some more backstory. Like, there's still some things we don't know about Shredder and Krang. We never saw how they met, how they teamed up. There's still some things we just don't know. Maybe we'll find out in the future. But yeah, an entertaining episode overall.
Yeah, her and her lovely ring. I would have enjoyed when they did the crossover with the Nick series again the second time around with how they ended the 2012 series. It would have been pretty cool if they showed, like, I don't know, 1986 or something like, or like way back in Japan where Krang and Shredder did actually meet. That would have been pretty cool. They had a chance to do it there with the old animation. But like you say, in life there is always hope. So maybe one day we'll finally get that. Now we go into Too Hot to Handle. What happens in this one?
Oh boy, in this episode, we meet Vernon's nephew, Foster, who's like this genius boy who created some kind of a magnet that pulls the Earth closer to the sun, and it gets stolen by another guy who comes back, Professor Sofo. He's coming back, and he stole the device, and he wants to, actually destroy the world, just like the last time we saw him. So the turtles have to work together with Vernon and his nephew to stop him, which they, of course, do in the end. So Yeah, what are your thoughts on Foster? What do you think of him?
I thought he was okay. I mean, he's a little obnoxious. Of course, he had to go side with Donatello.
Yeah,
I like how Vernon screws up all the names. It reminds me of the first episode where April's trying to get the names right and they keep correcting her. If you remember that spot
yeah,
in Turtle Tracks. So, I enjoy that. He's a little cocky, but then he ends up being a buddy, which he does have some funny lingo. Like, what he's like, my green friend. He calls Donatello something, and he's like all hyped up. So in the end, it's okay.
yeah.
It's just shocking of all the. It makes sense to bring Professor Sofo back. Just there are so many other characters I thought they could have came back for another episode instead of him. There were like Actually, let me ask you, who would you have enjoyed to make another appearance? They only showed up once in a show.
Oh boy.
If you could pick at least just two or three, I mean, you can play as many as you like, but just like which two roll off the top of your tongue?
Yeah, the first one I can think of is Ray. I always wanted to see more of Ray, the fish mutant. Who else? Yeah, of course, like the last time we talked, Machman and Joe Eyeball. I would have enjoyed to see them again. And yeah, who else? Yeah, I mean, he comes back, but not in a big role. I wanted to see more of Mondo Gecko. Yeah, there's some, of course, some mutants that I wanted to see more of in this series.
Yeah, for me, it would have been the Dirk Savage, who we're going to get to in the next season. I thought he was a pretty cool kind of character.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he would have been great. All right, diving into our next episode here, we got little Halloweenish here with Nightmare in the This episode kind of freaked me out as a kid, actually, because I didn't see this as a kid. I saw it later in life, and it was after like one of the other scary things that freaked me out was Goosebumps, the haunted mask. I don't know if you ever saw that episode, like where the chick can't take the mask off.
I think I remember.
Yeah, it scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. That's why I was always afraid to put masks on, even like turtle masks, because it freaked me out. But yeah, this one was not similar to a mask, but we get, I believe it's a playoff of Freddy Krueger here. Is that correct?
Absolutely, because in this episode, Nightmare in the Lair, we meet Creepy Eddie, and he's totally a Freddy Krueger knockoff. This is also the reason I gotta say that I really like this episode, because it's got this Nightmare on Elm Street feeling, and I'm a little horror fan, so this is actually pretty cool. Creepy Eddie is a cool villain because in this dream world that the turtles go to, he's got these powers. He can like control everything and cause trouble for the turtles. I liked it. I liked it because I like Creepy Eddie, and yeah, also one of the villains that came back in the Saturday Morning Adventures, which I really enjoyed to see him again.
Oh. Yeah. Agree. And just speaking of NECA, he just came out, I believe, with Shibano Sama. I did pick up myself a pack of those dudes. So
oh, yeah, right.
It's a really cool one, too. I know they're getting expensive now, but that one was always one I always wanted to have because I thought he was a cool character, too. It'd be nice now. I don't know if we'll ever get a sequel to Shredder's Revenge. Can you imagine fighting him in like a video game level? Oh, my gosh, that would be fantastic.
Oh, that would be cool, yeah.
That would be incredible. Next, we're going to another parody. I could be wrong, and feel free to correct me, but with Phantom of the Sewers, these wombats, they kind of remind me of Chuck E. Cheese. This, Five Nights at Freddy's came later in life, but what did you think of did you think it was fun to be a wombat, like the song they sang in Phantom of the Sewers?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's totally Chuck E. Cheese, and yeah, nowadays you would say, yeah, it's like Five Nights at Freddy's because of they're moving on their own and they're getting really creepy and so. But yeah, this is the second Phantom of the Opera story that we got. There's this Phantom in the sewers that's causing trouble. But as it turns out, he's not the bad guy. The other one, his ex-partner, is the bad guy who controls this animatronics. And he wants to stop them, so he works together with the turtles to stop them. And in the end, everything turns out fine. And he lives in the sewers as the Phantom because he got disfigured by chemicals. And the ending, I always thought, even as a kid, I thought this is the weirdest ending ever because he's got disfigured. He's putting on a mask Like, nobody will ever see me again. And like, have you ever tried wash it off? And they're like, oh yeah, it's only paint. So hooray, go back to my normal life. Like, did he never wash his face? And they're like,
Yeah, you would think.
okay.
You'd think he'd have some sort of virus or whatnot from not having, basic hygiene. But once again, water is the gift of life. So we already had a cure in the turtles, and it's going to cure a man from some sort of facial disease with paint.
There's a pattern there.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, these wacky plot lines. But I had fun watching that one too. Now we go into another dude coming back. I remember watching this on a Saturday morning, so this one does hold dear to my heart because it's one of the few I'm able to remember and like kind of remember where I was watching this and whatnot. Like my dad used to go to a racetrack to make some bets for horse racing, and he'd take me, and sometimes they'd have the TVs on. I'm like, oh, Dad, I'm going to go watch the Turtles. You go, bet your horse. I'm going to go watch the Turtles over here. And I was like, oh, my God, this character is back. This was so well written. How'd you like Donatello Trash's Slash?
Yeah, as I said last time, I really like Slash. I think he's cool. And in this episode, he's actually a real threat because, as you remember, in his first episode, he was, well, gotta say, pretty stupid.
Yes.
But in this episode, because some aliens used some technology on him and made him super smart, and so he came back to Earth to turn everyone into a turtle. Like he transformed Vernon and Burn into turtles, and so he can be the main turtle, like the master of all turtles. So the turtles have to fight him, especially Donatello gets into trouble with him. But of course, in the end, they defeat him, and he falls off like this skyscraper, and he becomes dumb again. So, okay, everything back to normal. But yeah, overall, this is, in my opinion, a really cool episode. I really like Smart Slash. So yeah, more Slash, always good in my book.
Oh, same here, especially in Donatello. I really liked his role in there too, because again, it was episodes or comics. Anything is always much more enjoyable when you believe the villain can actually win, and that's why I really enjoyed this episode as well. So we go from Donatello to all about Leonardo. Leonardo is missing. We get some weird characters in this one too.
Oh yeah, totally. As the title suggests, Leonardo is missing because he got some distress signal and he followed it, and so but the other turtles didn't know where he went. And Shredder also finds out about this, so he used like a holographic device to turn Bebop into Leonardo. And yeah, so Leonardo is causing trouble in the city, trashing the city, and the turtles don't know what's wrong with him until they find out, that it's not really Leonardo. And in the end, well, dinosaurs appear because why not? And there's like this group of anthropomorphic dinosaurs that came from the center of the earth, and they are like this protectors. They want to protect a rare plant. And of course, they also have this power cell that Krang wants to get his hands on. If you think about it, there's a lot going on in this episode. But yeah, it's an enjoyable episode overall.
Especially Leonardo snorting like Bebop. I always thought that was kind of funny.
That was great.
So for some reason, we get back-to-back Leonardo episodes, and we get to learn a cool maneuver that Splinter teaches him, I believe, in Snakes Alive.
Yeah, I mean, in this episode, as you said, another Leonardo-focused episode, we find out that Leonardo is afraid of snakes. Something that we never heard of before and we will never hear of again. But yeah, Leonardo is afraid of snakes, and the city is overrun by snakes because there's a new villain in town called Rudolph Cobrato, who turns out to be a snake mutant. Unfortunately, it's not Scaletail. That would have been cool.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
But, yeah. As you said, Leonardo overcomes his fear and in the end defeats the bad guy and his snakes with a new technique that Splinter taught him. That was, what was it called? Was it the Cobra maneuver or something like this?
Yes, something like that, where it's like lean back, strike.
Yeah. Like a cobra. Check.
Yes, there you go. Exactly. No, I thought I enjoyed that episode. I liked it better than Tomato episode that we talked about the unidentified flying Leonardo. This one was a little bit more, just a little bit more entertaining for me, personal preference. All right, now we go to another, just a silly, wacky one. It's hard to keep a straight face, when we talk about some of these episodes. Maybe if we were kids and we were talking, we'd probably be like, yeah, all these are great, but Polly Want a Pizza. I'm sure just by the name of the episode, you guys will be able to know where this one goes, right, Christian?
I guess so. It's about this parrot that Michelangelo gets as a pet, and it turns out that the parrot originally belonged to a gangster boss called Maxie McGuffin, and the parrot has a key on him, and the key belongs to a safe, and in the safe there's like this very expensive ruby, and so the gangster boss wants to get it back. It's a big action, big chase there. Well, in the end, the whole ruby explodes, and so nobody gets anything from it. It's a fine episode. It's funny with Michelangelo once again having a thing for bats. I mean, we had Beat in an earlier episode, and we had his bat fish Max. So now he has a bat parrot, and it's Mikey and bats. That seems to work.
Yeah, and this is one of the more just again wacky things. We've had Woo Wee, we've had the Curly maneuver. Do you remember the name of the ruby in this one? Starts with a G.
What was it? What was it called? I'm blanking there.
Galooby Ruby.
Oh yeah, Galooby Ruby. Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
It's just such a random name. That's the only reason why I remember that. Cause,
totally.
He's it. Galooby Ruby. He's flying around like there's a good trivia question for you. So now we go into I don't know if you followed sports way back when, but there was a sports announcer in the States, and he did like interviews. His name was Howard Cosell. I don't know if you're familiar with the name, but if you're not, I want you to look up this something that he has said just anywhere, and his voice has to be a parody of this villain. I honestly thought as a kid, because I didn't have Google to search these names besides the credits on the back of the episode. I actually thought this character was voiced by Howard Cosell. How did you like Mr. Nice Guy? I'm pretty sure Rob Paulson had a fun time doing this one for Raphael.
Yeah, I guess so. Because hey, we get the Ray back from the episode where Leonardo turned into a cool dude, and now this Ray is used to turn Raphael into a nice dude. Because if I remember correctly, it's Raphael's birthday, and he's always cranky on his birthday. So the Turtles use this Ray to turn him into a nice guy. Oh, no, actually, it was an accident. Yes. That's right. They didn't plan to do it, but it happened. Raphael became a nice guy, and he became so nice that he started to help even bad guys. He goes like, "Hey, we don't want to stop them. Just chill. Yeah, take all the money. It's fine, cool. Yeah." And there's this bad guy. The Turtles sent him to a psychiatrist. Yeah. Called Dr. von Shrink, and who, of course, turns out to be a bad guy. And so Raphael helps him, and until Raphael turns back into his normal self again, and then they defeat him. I mean, in the end, I always thought it was cool that the Dr. von Shrink had this, a cage where everyone has to face their greatest fears, and like Michelangelo has to fight like this gigantic pizza and things like this. Oh, yeah, actually, I liked this episode. I thought it was entertaining and it was fun.
No, I enjoyed this one too, and the robot was pretty cool in there too. Is like the villain sidekick. I enjoyed this one, and then like you've been saying for a couple here, apparently this is the season finale with Sleuth on the Loose and another returning character.
Yeah, because April's aunt, Agatha Marbles, comes back. Um, and yeah, she actually teams up with Raphael to stop another bad guy. Like there's this uh, bad guy who's got this doomsday device, and yeah, it's pretty much a detective story. They like follow the clues to get to the bad guy, and in this episode, even more than the last episode she was in, Agatha is like she can do everything because we see she's super smart and she can even fight and she can like pole vault over a fence. She's like, yeah, I can do. What was it? I always thought it was funny. Like she does this, she jumps over a fence, and Rafa is like, "Yeah, I know you've won gold in the Olympics in 1968," and she's like, "No, it was 1969."
Yeah, exactly. Just to shut him up. Yep, of course. Yeah. Again, how are your thoughts on no season? Well, I guess what could have been the season finale here if you were writing these episodes? What would you have had on season 6?
Well, I mean, I always enjoyed the season finales the most, where there's this big attack with the Technodrome. Like the Technodrome comes back, and the turtles have to stop it. Like season 3 finale, always fantastic. Something like this, like the Technodrome. I mean, like we do get at the end of season 7, something like this, like the Technodrome coming out of the ocean, and turtles have to stop it. This is always where it's like, oh, the stakes are high. This is a season finale for me. But yeah, as you said, we don't get one in this season, not at all.
But good things are yet to come. This again is arguably the best season of Turtles outside of season 1 for me. Season 7, they were trying to get back some viewers because X-Men was doing good. I believe Batman the Animated Series was out there. You had Power Rangers, which was starting in '93, and there are just some really phenomenal episodes that we're going to dive into, you guys, here. Now, we already did the European episodes because Christian and I are hardcore Turtle fans, and both of us agree that those should have been a part of season 4. I'm not sure why we had to wait until season 7 to get the DVD releases, but here we are. And Christian, yeah, start us off with season 7 here.
Yeah, I hope we have the same episode order, because my season 7 starts with Night of the Dark Turtle.
Yes.
Which is a fantastic episode. Donatello, turns into the Dark Turtle. He's like, yeah, pretty much Batman. He turns into Bat Turtle, and he goes after Shredder to finally stop him once and for all. And this is also the only episode where we get the Triceratons in the series. I mean, season 7, it took 7 seasons to finally get the Triceratons, who are actually a stable in the whole Turtle multiverse. They are like in every series, every comic, but yeah, only one episode here. And I always thought it was cool. Like Donatello, like with this dark voice, like this Batman voice, going after Shredder to really stop him. I mean, he almost did. He almost destroyed him if the Turtles wouldn't have stopped him. This is a fantastic episode, I gotta say.
Oh yeah, this is one of the best. Just well done, well written. Playoff on words is great. Like I say, a lot more action, and even Donatello with his words, scuzz bombs, just trying his best to say dirty words without saying anything swear words. Now, in the German version, were there any cuss words in this episode? Because I know in a couple you said they did drop a few bad words. So I'm curious if Donatello had a lot more strength in his vocabulary out in your neck of the woods.
Not in this episode. Not if I remember.
Okay.
No, I don't think. Nothing really bad.
Okay. Here we go now. We're starting into some aliens with the Star Child.
This is one of this episode that I wasn't a big fan of as a kid, but nowadays I think it's got a really good story because there's like this alien kid coming to Earth, and some other aliens come to Earth and they say, "Hey, this alien kid, is the most dangerous person in the whole universe because it's got this superpowers, like this telekinetic powers, but it's still a kid. It can't control them." And so the turtles, for a long time in this episode, there is not really a bad guy because the kid, causes trouble, but it's not evil or anything. It just doesn't know how to use its powers. So the turtles have to help him until then later an alien appears who wants to take control of the little kid. So the turtles stop that guy, and in the end, Splinter is the one who convinces the little kid through a trick that it has to grow up, it has to help people, not just fool around. It has to help people, and so the little kid grows up and to bring peace to the whole universe. Overall, I think this is a really good storyline here.
Yeah, I season 7. I don't know if there's anything wrong with season 7 from start to finish, but the episodes we consider season 7. This one was very enjoyable for me. Even when I say "cowabunga, dude," like when he vanishes off to his homeland, I thought that part was kind of funny. And this is another one of my top 10. We are nearing the end of James Avery voicing the Shredder in these episodes too. You're going to notice a change in a couple more episodes. Legend of Koji, how'd you like this one?
Honestly, another fantastic episode. Turtles go back in time to ancient Japan, and like they meet the ancestors of Shredder and Splinter, like Hamato Koji and Oroku Sancho. And I just enjoyed this episode. I mean, this was in 1993, so this was the time when the third movie came out, where they also went to old Japan. So there's like a little connection there. But this episode, honestly, is really cool. Like the turtles fighting all these like samurais. And in the end, they witness the birth of the Foot Clan. Like Hamato Koji is the one who is the founder of the Foot Clan, which is like a little retcon there, because in an earlier episode it was Shibano-sama, but so, okay. It's a fantastic episode.
I agree. It's one of my favorites. Another decent one here. Some more. Now we get some ninja gangs and White Belt Blackheart.
Yeah, once again, very interesting episode because we meet the... What was it? The son? I think was it the son of Master of Splinter?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, and Splinter trained him for a while. I mean, we never saw that, but it was said. Splinter trained him for a while, and then the kid became a member of a gang and became evil, and so the Turtles try to stop him because he's working together with Shredder. But there's this twist in the end that it turns out that he was actually undercover in this gang to find out who the real boss is there. So he was never evil, and he's still a good guy. And it's once again a pretty good storyline. As you said, season 7, like, after 7 seasons, they try new things. It's not just there's this scientist, this evil scientist coming there and causing trouble. They are trying new things, like new storylines with little twists in there, and I really like this. It's cool.
And here we go, an all-you-can-eat villain buffet in Night of the Rogues. Probably, for me, again, we've been saying this a lot. It sounds like a broken record, but another one of the best episodes of the entire series right here in Night of the Rogues.
Yeah, it's a surprise that it took them so long to like have this big bad guy team up, because this is like the episode where we get Shredder gets all of these bad guys to cause trouble for the Turtles. We got Leatherhead, Red King, Slash is coming back, Tempestra, Chrome Dome, Anthrax, Scumbag. Did I forget someone? And I mean, they act like they already know them, but this is actually the debut of Anthrax and Scumbag.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Turtles, they actually get defeated in this episode. They get caught by the bad guys, and so the Splinter has to team up with April and April. I think it was April, Irma, and Zack to help the Turtles.
And
No,
another
Casey
friend.
Jones
Yes.
was also
Yep.
there.
Yeah, another friend.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, how can I say season 7's the best if we have no Casey Jones? It's like, oh wait, he was in this episode here, and he still wanted to break stuff and go bananas. Yeah, this is. I thought this was great from start to finish, even when they went their separate ways. The only pick, like if I could give it a 99.999, was unfortunately we didn't get Jim Cummings as Leatherhead. The other voice, I think it was Pete Renaday, I think, who filled in. It sounds like his voice acting not bad, but just Jim Cummings is my Leatherhead and will always be the voice of my Leatherhead. So that's the only tiny nitpick. But this is just a fabulous episode. And next, we get another cool bunch of dudes coming back. A lot of these episodes, actually, for the next like 4 episodes, they're all great epic returns. Attack of the Neutrinos. How'd you like this one?
Yeah, once again, an entertaining episode, even though what was the storyline of this episode? It was actually the Neutrinos get turned bad and they cause trouble for the Turtles. That's pretty much the story of the whole thing. But it was entertaining, and if I remember correctly, it's actually the last episode with the Neutrinos. And yeah, I mean, as I said, the overall storyline was the Krang turns the Neutrinos into bad guys, and I think it was entertaining that they had a change of character. Like normally it's like, yeah, chill out, dudes, and now they went, no, we're gonna destroy you, Turtles. It was something unusual, something new. Overall, entertaining episode. Nothing else to say.
Yeah, I agree. Nice, like you say, they were trying some new things with plot twists and some little stuff to keep us on our toes, and the episodes felt a little bit more engaging instead of just all about, because like the pizza talks really watered down a lot too in this season, which I like, and you'll see there's more. If you actually pay attention, it's not just, hey, I'm going to grab your arm and throw you. Like most of the fighting in seasons 4, 5, and 6 was, I'm just going to throw the turtle into another turtle and they're all going to get unconscious. And it's the same thing with the bad guys. In this one, you see a couple kicks, see a couple, weapons being used instead of just throwing it at random food. So I really enjoy this season. And another good one coming up here, Escape from Planet of the Turtleoids. Our good friend Kerma again is back.
Yeah, but this time he comes to Earth to take the turtles with him, because on Shell-Rila, the Turtles planet, the Turtleoids planet, Groundchuck and Dirtbag come back together with this space pirate to cause trouble for the turtles. And yeah, so Kerma has built like this robotic turtles, completely made of gold, and he needs the turtles' help to get them to work. And this is the one episode where Kerma, if I remember correctly, actually fights back, because it was always like this peace-loving dude. But here, in one scene, he finally has enough and he attacks the bad guys. And yeah, hey, it was the return of Groundchuck and Dirtbag, so that's a plus in my book.
Yeah, exactly. It was nice seeing those guys back in action. And I thought those giant turtle things were pretty cool too, even though they really didn't last long. But I thought those things they built were pretty wild.
Yeah, those golden turtles.
Yes.
One thing, did we jump over an episode? Did we forget Convicts from Dimension X? Could that be?
I believe we did, because, yeah, it was right after Legend of Koji. Yes, correct. Let's jump into that one.
Okay, quick one. In this episode, through a rip in time and space through Dimension X, some alien convicts from Dimension X escape to Earth and, yeah, well, pretty much cause trouble for the turtles. I always thought that this was a cool episode because we got some bad guys from Dimension X, but they had no connection to Krang or Shredder or anyone. They were, yeah, I mean, we have a Dimension X episode but no Krang in it. This never happened before. Overall, I mean, on one hand, we have the bad guys coming to Earth, causing trouble with the turtle or for the turtles, and on the other hand, we have Vernon and Irma get transported to this alien prison, and yeah, they have some comedy bits there. That was funny. On the one hand, we had action. On the other hand, we had comedy. So it worked. I think I really like this one.
Yeah, no, thanks for pointing out. Like you say, we're going through almost 200 episodes. I'm bound to make a botch every now and then. I'm glad you caught that one. I did like this one as well, too. I did forget about Irma and Vernon again going out there. Didn't they go out there before with, I want to say it was season 4 with Michelangelo and Raphael, I think they went out to Dimension X. They hang out there a lot.
Yeah, and the Dimension X story, right? Yeah, they were also there, yeah.
They're very familiar with that territory out there. So, farewell to our friend here, Baxter Stockman. This is his final episode in Revenge of the Fly.
Yeah, this is, as you said, the return of Baxter and also the final episode with Baxter Stockman. He once again comes back with his computer buddy, and he's using some mutagen to turn people into like bug creatures and spider creatures. And this is the third episode where April gets turned into a mutant. Here she gets turned into this wasp mutant. And yeah, I mean, we have some pretty creepy scenes there. Like, if you remember, Vernon turns into like a spider. He looks so creepy there.
Oh my God,
and and Irma was like this moth creature. So yeah, it's pretty much a mutant episode with all these insect mutants there. But it was cool. It was cool to see Baxter like causing trouble again. Yeah, good episode.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see now. In Atlantis Awakes, there's a character in here that actually had an action figure, but I forget, Christian. Did they call him Murdude in the episode? And then you can explain what Atlantis Awakes is all about.
If I remember correctly, Mikey calls him Murdude.
Okay. Good. Okay.
Once or twice, and yeah. But his real name was Alim, if I remember correctly. Yeah, in this episode, we find out that Atlantis exists, which is funny because we already knew this when the Turtles were in Greece. There was also Atlantis because April was the lost queen of Atlantis, but it was a different Atlantis. It gets pretty confusing there.
Correct.
But yeah, there's this city under the sea where people live, and Murdude is actually their king, but he left the city like years ago, so no one remembers what he looks like. And when Bebop appears in the city, they think that he is the true king of Atlantis. So it's crazy. I mean, I always enjoyed this scene when the Murdude has to fight Bebop in this arena. I thought that was actually pretty cool, and yeah, it's a cool episode. And hey, Murdude is cool. Murdude is a good action figure, so to see him in an episode, that's fine.
Yeah, I agree. Were you a fan of Super Mario RPG, the video game? Did you ever get to play that for Super Nintendo?
Yeah, I did. I mean, it's been years.
Okay,
but I did. Yeah.
Just a random tidbit. What this episode always reminds me of is if you remember the spot with Valentina, and they take over Mallow's, king and queen, and they have Prince Mallow as Dodo. So I always think of that as Bebop for this episode here, because it's kind of the same thing.
Okay.
This random mutant that's just like, oh yeah, sure, I guess we can we'll roll with that. That's fine. So I always think of that little spot there. Now I believe we go into another one of my favorites. We talked about him very briefly earlier today. Dirk Savage, Mutant Hunter.
Oh, Dirk Savage. Yeah, this is once again a big mutant episode because we meet some old and new mutants in this episode. First off, we meet in this episode Razor and Toka from the second movie. They have their cartoon debut, and Yeah, so there's this guy, Dirk Savage, who is like this headhunter, and he's hunting mutants, and he's coming after all these mutants. And Mondo Gecko comes back in this episode. Two of the punk frogs appear in New York and get captured. So there are lots of mutants there. I mean, the Turtles even mentioned that some time ago, like Shredder caused a mutant outbreak in a zoo. So that's the reason why there are so many mutants now there. Um, yeah, as I said, Jake Savage, a cool character. I mean, this whole thing with, in the end, he finds out that not all mutants are evil, so he teams up with the Turtles. Pretty cool. Would have loved to see more of him. Which, I say it again, I said it before, I say it again, which happened currently in the Saturday Morning Adventures. We saw him again, and I like that.
Very nice. You can also play spoiler for me in this one, Christian. Are Toka and Razor in the Saturday Morning Adventures yet?
Just in a cameo, if I remember correctly.
Okay, I hope they get a thicker role too, because it was pretty cool. I was like, oh my, I did see this episode as a kid, like marking out like they do, like the term they use for wrestling fans, where you mark out, oh my God, Toka and Razor are in a cartoon. This is so cool. And I know they weren't used that much, and they were just like looking for food. And Razor was like, Toka, you're my best friend in the world, like a BFF type thing. But I thought it was great seeing them. And now, this one is a little interesting to me. Invasion of the Krangazoids. This is written by David Wise, who put his own spin on Krang. I was surprised he wouldn't have called this the Invasion of the Utroms, but he wanted Krang to stand out and not be an Utrom. So tell us about these Krangazoids.
Oh yeah, the whole thing with, is Krang, what is Krang now? Is it a disembodied brain? Is it an Utrom? Sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that. It's pretty confusing. But in this episode, Krang clones himself like 6 times, if I remember correctly. And because of reasons, the clones, they start to grow bodies, and they turn it like these lizard creatures. So is this the way that Krang originally looked before he became a brain? We don't know, maybe. And yeah, they cause trouble. They want to turn the whole city, the city of New York, into like another dimension X. Like they want to to create a volcano under the city. And yeah, so the Turtles have to fight them. And yeah, in the end, the Krangazoids get thrown into a dimensional limbo. And well, I guess they're still stuck there because we never saw them again.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was okay seeing them. I thought there could have been a little bit more, again, with a little bit of a backstory. Because remember, he got banished out here, so I wish they would have brought that up a little bit. But overall, kind of a cool episode. And now we go to, maybe this is like some sort of theme park, like a Universal Studios or a Six Flags out here in the States. Combat Land.
Yeah, this is pretty, this whole thing. I mean, when I watched it as a kid, I didn't know this movie or TV show, but this episode reminds me of Westworld, if you know it, because there's this theme park with these robots. Like we have samurais, we have cyborgs, and knights, if I remember correctly. It's like this medieval place, and the Turtles go there to test them out. But once again, it turns out that the guy behind the theme park, Combat Land, is actually a bad guy, and he uses the robots for his evil reasons. So once again, the Turtles have to stop them. And overall, a cool episode with some good action scenes, I gotta say. Because there are some turtle robots later on in the episode, like turtle robot clones, whatever you want to call them, with red glowing eyes. Pretty cool imaginary there. And yeah, it's okay. It's a fun episode. I like the theme.
Yeah, especially when they take their weapons too. They're like, wait, we need our weapons, and they take them away from them in the beginning of the episode too. I thought that was pretty wild.
Oh yeah. And they didn't have the weapons to fight the robots, and yeah, they had to think of something there.
Yeah, it's a very good, engaging, challenge episode. So finally, we're almost at 170 episodes. And we finally think Shredder is finally going to win. Christian and I finally get satisfaction in regards to having a season finale. You can also almost, even though the Red Sky is part of the series, it's almost a series finale because I'm not sure if they thought they were going to have a season 8 here because the theme song really changes in season 8. So tell us all about Shredder Triumphant.
It's funny that you say that that it could have been a series finale, because for me as a kid, it was the series finale. We didn't get the Red Sky seasons back then. We got them years later. So I always thought, for a long time, I thought this is the series finale. And yeah, it's finally we get another season finale that's really a real season finale, because Shredder and Krang get the power for the Technodrome. Technodrome comes back to New York City. The Turtles try to stop the Technodrome, but they get thrown into Dimension X, and there's nothing that they can do. Shredder actually takes over the city, and he would have won in the end, but the Turtles provoked him, so he sent the Turtles back to Earth. I mean, Shredder, dude, that wasn't the smartest move.
Yeah.
So the Turtles come back to Earth, and in the end, the Technodrome gets thrown into Dimension X. But Shredder, Krang, Bebop, and Rocksteady are stuck on Earth without Technodrome, without foot soldiers, no rock soldiers, nothing. And this was, as I said, for me, for a long time, the end. And one of the funniest things in this episode is that Irma is becoming like a Rambo with getting her weapons, start to shoot the bad guys. It's like, yeah, Irma, you go, girl. Fantastic episode, fantastic season finale, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I liked it a lot, and it was a nice send-off for our turtles, our heroes on a half shell. This pretty much was the end here, and as I thought as well, just intense battles were good. Finally, it looks like everything was put to rest, although Shredder is still out there. The Technodrome's gone, so they almost feel really powerless. Season 7, like we talked earlier too, I thought that Shredder and Krang were pretty much not a threat to the Turtles anymore. It was nice where they slowly rebuilt, got their heads together. There was no more woo-wee this and woo-wee that. They actually, did what they needed to do, and still just came up a little short because heroes are supposed to prevail. So, Christian, 7 seasons in now, man. We've had you for seasons 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, which has been a great ride. Hopefully we'll have you back for the Red Sky. I think we can probably do all 3 of those seasons in one sitting like we've been doing. For those who want more Turtles, can you please direct them to your where they can find you?
Yeah. As I always say, if you want to hear more of my ramblings, check out TMT The Talk. You can check out my podcast. It's on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and pretty much on all the podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. And just today, I released a new episode where I'm talking about the final issue of The Last Ronin 2. So check this out.
Oh, man, I can't wait. Also, just curious, what are some of your favorite podcasts you've done regarding the Turtle series that we've talked about? Any of those previous episodes that you recommend Shellonomics viewers check out?
Oh, boy. I mean, I also talked season-wise about the cartoon. I had episodes talking about the Next Mutation. I was also already talked about the 2003 cartoon. But mostly currently, if you're really into the current IDW comics and like regular comics, Last Ronin, or Saturday Morning Adventures, I also talk about them because, well, IDW is releasing so much that I always want to talk about these comics. So if you're into these current comics, hey, I have a lot to talk about. So check it out. Yep.
Oh, fantastic. Christian, as always, have yourself a fantastic Thursday, and we hope to see you back next week to wrap up the 1987 series. Cowabunga as always, my dude.
Sounds good. Cowabunga, and until next time.